All right, everyone. Good evening. Um, has anybody joined at all?
Not yet.
Hmm?
Not yet. Not yet.
Do you want me to just continue? Well, just be weird.
Can
Let's
continue.
wait. Let's wait for 10 minutes.
All right.
Hi, baby. Good evening. How are you? You had a wonderful day. Um, yeah. How has it been? How has the week been? So we are waiting till like 10 minutes past 8, so we can have so we can just start. Were you in the last class, baby? And can you hear me properly? So I'm in
Iberi,
my house
you can
today.
mute your mic. Iberi.
Hi, Damilari. Welcome. Hope you had a wonderful day. If you're in the last class, please let me know. We're waiting to start in like 5 minutes. So we'll just go. I just wanted to have people around, so I'm not just going to be talking to myself or Balogun alone. Can you hear me? It's going to be a bit noisy where I am today. It's hot in the UK. So somewhere where it's kind of cold so that I don't write. If that makes sense. So, but yeah, can you hear me properly? Hi, Larry. Good evening. Are you in the last class? Maybe we're in the last class. If you were, do you remember anything we talked about? And how was it? Or if you've been able to watch the video at all? I'm guessing you guys have been busy, but yeah.
Maybe you can unmute yourself.
Damn, you can mute yourself. The audio is clashing. Which one? Is it mine? Is my audio better now? Oh, you're not in the last class. That's fine. Is it better now? Is the audio better now? But do you still remember from the first class? No worries. Do you remember anything from the first class? I know you were in the first one. Okay, let me know. You can unmute if you want. Oh, everybody has disappeared again. Right, 3 minutes more.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, very good evening. I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So for the first class,
Your audio is kind of, what's the word?
what
Breaking.
I can remember was camera lenses we have and how you can adjust our cameras like get clear and good shots. And you also taught us on how we can also like set the ones on our phones, which I did, and
Hold on.
take pictures using like the grid stuff like that.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much, Ebere, for that. Remember the cameras. Did you check the camera we have in church? What camera was it? Was it a DSLR? Was it a full frame camera that we were using? If you checked, but if you did not, that was fine. So we have 1 minute before we start officially.
Ah, I did not check
Not
that.
check. That's fine.
I not check.
That's fine. That's fine. So maybe on Sunday, just check the camera and see which one it is. If it's a
Maybe I'll
DSLR
check
or
this
it's a
one.
mirror. Yeah, or is a mirrorless camera. All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for. Sorry. Good evening, everybody. A big thank you to Prophet, to Pastor PD, and to all the pastors and to the leaders that have given the opportunity to teach everyone photography. And let me say a word of prayer first. Oh Lord, we thank you for today. We thank you for your mercies. We thank you for everyone that's joined this meeting. We thank you that it's going to be a powerful and amazing one. And everyone is going to be learning, and at the same frequency at which I'm speaking, they're able to understand and they're going to be able to put it to practice. And from today henceforth, our skills, our tenacity, and our desire to, put amazing work out there be increased. Thank you, Jesus. Answer prayer. For Jesus, my prayer. All right. So, first of all, I'm going to be talking about the devices I use in editing, and these are very important for your editing journey. Right. So, first things first, you need a hard drive. The hard drive, one hard drive, either one is fine. You need an hard drive, right? And there are two types of hard drive that I know of, right? We have the HDD and we have the SDD. Now, one thing you need to know is the HDD. I will never recommend you use your HDD for editing. Your HDD is going to be majorly for backing up pictures, right? Your SDD is always better, right? The reason why your SD is better is because your SDD have a faster read and write speed as opposed to the HDD, and HDD is mechanical inside. And once it drops, if it drops, trust me, it's gone. When you use your SDD for your editing, even if it drops half the time, it's not going to spoil. And I usually recommend this Samsung T7 or a SanDisk, or this one is something that was sent to me by a company because I shoot YouTube videos. So they sent it to me as a to try it out. It was amazing. I've been using this one majorly for my editing because it's like 40 megabytes per second. And it's way faster than this too. But none is by the way. So anytime you are in thinking about, oh, louder. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is it better now? Balogun, can you hear
It's
me better?
better. It's better. It's better.
Okay. So basically, how I'm saying, if you are looking at getting anything to edit, get an SDD. Your HDD will slow down your editing process, and it's quite annoying. If you're having your HDD is for your backup usually, and your HDD is for your SDD is for editing. So I'm going to quickly repeat it because of a very like I said before. If you are trying to edit your videos, your pictures, or anything that has to do with creative work, get an SDD, right? An SDD will ensure that's I'm using SDD. That's wrong. HDD and SSD, right? So your SSD is going to help you edit faster and is weight like it's very small, very light. If it falls down, nothing's really going to happen to it. But if this falls down, all your contents are gone. So the only reason why you need an HDD is to back up, while your SSD is majorly for editing. You can get like a T7, this one, or you can also get don't get this one. This one is custom made, so something else to me. I have to pay buy some extra things. So get an SSD, and then the cables are not usually that long, right? So depending on whichever one you get, is a very small cable. So ensure you're using that. So that's one. Number two is a Wacom tablet, right? I use this for my editing majorly because I don't like using touchpad. I used to use touchpad before, but like your Wacom tablets will go a long way in helping your editing process. Like it's like a pen. It's like you get to work with it and do anything you have to do as fast as possible. So if anybody is going to be dedicated to editing, you need a Wacom tablet majorly for your editing. I got this one in 2021. Which 2020, 2021, 2022, I can't remember. I think CDM was still at what's the name of that hotel? That hotel that has a hall. I can't remember. That's the time I got it. It was like 40K. I think now it's like 120K or like 150K. I can't remember how much it is. But depending on the one you get, you don't have to get the expensive one. Just get something that can do the work, and then you have a surface. This was because I put something on top, but it still works. So there's no point for me to change it. So those are the majorly the things I'm going to be telling you to get if you're looking at it. So the next other thing is the software, which we are going to be making use of. We're going to be making use of Adobe Lightroom. The reason why I recommend Adobe Lightroom is because when you are editing, right, you want to be able to see all your pictures at once. You want to do the calling process as quick and fast as possible. And Photoshop is quite stressful. Because Photoshop is, I feel like Photoshop is for create more in-depth creative work. So if you're not looking at in-depth creative work, go for Photoshop, right? It's quick, fast, you can edit as quick as possible. You can be done in 30, 40, 1 hour, depending on how many pictures you have. And if you are very good with the editing process, so I'm going to be showing you some tips. So I'm going to be showing you how to edit from here. Now, the other thing is if you don't have an SSD, and let me just try and make it easy for you. So if you do have an SSD and you have only an HDD, just ensure that you're editing from your laptop. Your laptop and ensure your laptop has SSD, not HDD. So if your laptop has HDD too, it's going to be a problem editing. Because like I said, HDD is very, very slow. But if you and because it's mechanical, it's slow and I don't really encourage it. So, but if your laptop has an SSD, edit from your SSD laptop or edit from your laptop, right? And back up on your hard drive. So once you're done editing on a laptop, don't transfer, move it to your hard drive so that you have space on your laptop to edit, right? So I'm going to be sharing my screen now. I'm going to be opening um Adobe Photoshop because I'm going to do Adobe Lightroom, not Photoshop, and I'm going to be showing the processes for editing um as quick as possible. So I'm going to share my screen. No. Sorry, one moment, please. Okay, so I hope you can hear me, and I hope you can see my screen now. Can you see my screen? Just let me know in the comment section. Can you see my screen? Okay, can you see my screen? Can you hear me? Can't see my screen. Balogun, my screen is up, right? I can see it here, but I'm not sure if everyone can see it. Okay, Balogun, you can see it. Okay, Yama, you can see it. So maybe exit and rejoin. So I'm going to start with the editing. Not the editing, I'm going to show you the interface. So when you first open your Lightroom, right, you'll be greeted with different things. Trust me, don't feel overwhelmed. And this is if you have the updated one. So I always recommend paying for your software. Number one, you have the. I used to be the person that used to be like, oh, use the pirated one. But since I started using the what do you call it, the paid one, there are some things down the paid one that are not on the pirated one, right? So I'm going to get to that. So I'm going to show you some of the things that people will probably pay me to relate this, but this is nice. So first of all, you're greeted with the catalog, folders, collections, public service. And so when you are opening your Lightroom, you have your library. So the first thing first is your library. This is where you get to see all your pictures, all the things you've taken. So yeah, let me change this picture to something else instead of what is there already. So when you anytime you import pictures into Lightroom, you first see them in your library and they'll be in folders. Now, these are different hard drives that I use in editing or that my pictures are. One thing about Lightroom is it doesn't import your pictures into Lightroom. It tags the location where those pictures are. In the sense that so if your pictures are in one of your hard drives, it will link to those pictures there. So you're not having to import into a separate location. Though you can do that, but like that's just by the way. So we have the Macintosh HD, which is the normal one, where this is my laptop. So I have a different hard drive, which is this Ali one, then an extreme SSD. So which are these two? I have a one touch. That one is like an HDD. So I have a T7. So that's my partner's own. The TB45 Pro is the one I'll be editing from, and then the last one is to do is this one. It's a 5 terabyte hard drive. It's 5 terabytes. Yes, 5 terabytes. Always get if you are getting HDD, get like 5 terabytes. Don't get 10 terabytes. Get 5 terabytes or 10 terabytes if you like, and then you can get a 1 terabyte SSD because your 1 terabyte SSD will allow you edit fast. This is just for backup, like I said before. So when you import your pictures, you find them in this location. So for this one now, you have Seva and Raja in my SSD hard drive, right? And you will see the number of pictures that you have. So it's 1,365. The number of pictures that was imported for this one is 930. For Kirsty and Oli is 1,506. For Chris, this is 182. This is 434. Now, the reason why you will see that there are question mark here is because I have deleted the pictures from the SSD. Anytime you see question mark on your the folder, it means that it's not finding a location where it is. So anytime you see this, you can always relink it. So you see find missing folder or remove. At the moment, I don't necessarily need this person's pictures again because I just did the job. So I'm just going to remove it. And one thing that is good is anytime you're done with the job, anytime you're done with editing for a particular week, right, just remove it. You don't necessarily need to keep it in your Lightroom. It's just going to be occupying space in a way. So remove it and that'll be good. So there are two ways to import pictures into Lightroom, right? You either import, right? Or I'm going to show you the import one first. So when you click import, you have the two sources where your hard drives are. So the first one is what? The Macintosh HDD and the TBU45 Pro. So I can just come here and let's say I want to, the folder where I've kept the pictures is in editing CDM. So I'm going to go to editing CDM, click it, and you will see all the pictures that are available. So these are pictures from last year's ACM and our meeting. And I'm just going to click it. And from here, you will see that we have 852 pictures and 28 gigabytes, right? Now, remember when I said that Lightroom is not going to copy these pictures into your laptop anymore. So there are ways in which when you import your pictures, you can either add, you can move, or you can copy. Now, when you add, it's just going to add it from that location. But if you move these pictures, so if I click move, I have to tell it where I want it to move it, where I want to move it to, which is on this side, which is the file handling part, this part. So I'm going to click a destination. So I want to click it, maybe I want to put it in my users, Mac, then probably say, okay, my pictures, this thing, then tell it pictures. Okay, now put it into, organize it into a folder, and then I can put it in a subfolder, enter a name, right? That is moving it. That means all the pictures that are on the hard drive, it will move it to that particular location. Now, if you want to copy, copy is different. Copy will leave the pictures on your hard drive, which is the SSD one I'm using to edit. Then it will also import it into the location you want it to go to. I don't really usually recommend this. Like I said, if you are editing, if you have an SSD or you're editing from your laptop, all you need to do is just click hard. You can copy as DNG, but you don't necessarily need that part for now. So it's either you copy, you move, or you add, depending on whichever one you want. So if you have a memory card, say for example, you want to put from memory card. So instead of putting from memory cards to the SSD first, then from the SSD you now import to Lightroom. What you can do is you can copy or you can move. You copy from the memory card, copy it to the SSD, put it in the location in SSD, and it's going to import it into Lightroom. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can understand what I'm talking about. Let me see if everyone is understanding what I'm talking about. Do you get what I'm talking about? So it's either you copy it or you move it out from the memory card into a different location. I usually recommend copying because once you move, sometimes if the process doesn't work properly, right, it's not going to copy well. When you move it, you're just moving it from one place to another. Does that make sense? So for this part, I'm just going to click add. Now, the other thing is when you are importing pictures and you don't want to import duplicates. Say, for example, now, remember I already showed you pictures of Kirsty and Oli, and then I have pictures of Josephine. I have pictures of Josephine, these people now, this Sarah and Raja. They are already in Lightroom. One thing I will always tell you to do is check this. Don't import suspected duplicates. What this does is it helps you not import pictures that are already that you've probably edited before or that are already in your Lightroom, so that it's not going to be like extra. It's not going to cause extra space, or it's just not going to be like extra work on your part. So let's say you took pictures for praise and worship, and you're trying to wonder if you have actually edited those pictures because you probably can't see them. If you have this selected, it will show you that I can't click them, right? It means that I cannot have access to them. Now, if I go to any other pictures, if I go to Adewale and Josephine, now it's allowing me click it, but the truth is it removed it because those pictures are already in my Lightroom, right? So I can't import them. You will see that it shows 0 photos, 0 bytes. Let me see if I have any pictures. So they're the same thing. How do I have? Done just by the way. So say for example, I want to import some other pictures. I'll show you that. So let's just come back to CDM. Now I'm going to click import. The other things you can do if you want to add some editing to it before you import it, there are some developed settings you can do here, but like you don't necessarily need that. That's like pro level. That's if you're ready to stay and then let me now start explaining. But like I still have to go through the whole editing process first before I now start showing you this part. So let's just include this part. So I'm just going to click import. Now when I click import, it's just going to import all the pictures. You'll see the progress here, right? And you see your pictures here. You will see that it has imported this editing CDM folder here, meaning that I can have access to it. If I click Chris and this thing, I can always have access to it here. If I want to remove it, I just right click and I click remove. But like that's not what you're doing here. So this is the first method of importing. Now the other one is you press Command Shift I or Control Shift I, depending on whichever software you're using. I press Command Shift I. You can go through this normal process, or I'm going to select some pictures that were sent to me by Balogun yesterday. So you go to the particular location. So let me see if I can share my screen. Let me share my screen instead of just sharing the Lightroom, so that you can see what I'm showing you. Share screen, share screen. Let me just share entire screen. I'm just going to share the entire screen. Can you see my entire screen right now? Just showing you. Can you see my entire screen? I'm going to assume everybody can see my entire screen. So when you click Command Shift I or Control Shift I, you go to the particular folder. Say this is where it is. It is in laptop CDM. What I just need to do is Control A everything or Command A everything, and I just click and I drag into Lightroom. Once I do that, it will show you the exact location where it is. It is in downloads, right? And in downloads in my laptop CDM, right? Like there are so many folders here. For you to pinpoint the exact location where it is, and then you just click import, right? I'll come back to these pictures because I also want to show you how to edit join service. But this is not service pictures. I'm just going to show you the ones we have here first. So now you have your pictures in the library, right? So anytime you want to edit, you go to your develop module. Your develop module will show you every other thing you want to use to edit. But like when you import your pictures, you have them in the library. The library is where you have all your pictures. Now, I'm going to show you two ways to select your pictures, right? So let's say I want to go through all my pictures. The first traditional way in which, if you are very good at it, is what I call the star method or the number rating method. You can also use the color code method. I use the color code method for pictures I've edited, which I will explain in a bit. So let's say you want to use the number rating method. So we have numbers 1 to 5. You see the star rating method here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say I want to go through the pictures quick as possible. Okay, I look at this picture. Is it making sense? Is it telling a story? No, I just move on to the next picture. This one is not sharp. This one, not sharp. Look at it, not sharp. Click again, not sharp. Do I like this picture? Maybe, maybe not. Right, depending on, this is telling a better story than the other two. And because I don't like the way Promat is looking here. So I prefer this one. So I can number it between 1 and 5, any number I want. So I say number 3, and I keep going. Right. Is this better? I say, okay, this one's nice. With 3, keep going. Like, I want to be as fast as possible. This is better. Okay, 3. This one, I don't, it's okay, but I'm not sure. It's not sharp, right? And I'm just going to keep going, right? No, so pictures are not that sharp. So I look at this one. I'm like, this one is manageable. Wait it. If I did not press 3, I can press 2. Right. You will see this one too. I say maybe 5. So let's quickly go through it. So this one now. This one, let me see. Is amount good here? Not bad. Say we rate it 5. Right. Okay. Let's just do a quick selecting. So I'm going to just do a quick selection process. So this one 2. So this one, I'm not sure I like it. This one is not bad, but you can see that our hands are the ones that are sharp. Our face is not sharp. I'm not going to move on. Right. Come to this one. Wow, we don't have a little sharp pictures. Okay, this one is not bad. So 3. This one is not bad. Say 2. So number 2. And you also need to look at their facial expressions. The one editing. So if photographers are just taking pictures, you that are doing the editing, you have to be as attentive as possible. Is facial expression good? Is facial expression telling the good story? Remember, we are still in the library phase instead of develop. So come here, press 2. This one is good. Smiling 2. Let's move on from this part. So you're just pressing your right or left arrow to move your through the gallery or through the picture strip, which is here. I come to this one. So it's the not bad. This two. Now this is two. This is nice, right? I don't like the way Professor Suit is looking here because every time someone is now, favorite person removes their suits, the bottom of their suit. So the clothes doesn't look this way because you don't want to post a picture of us looking like this. So I let's go to some other part of it. Oh, sorry. I should just sped past every other thing. So let's say coroner was coming. General, sorry. You look at the pictures. See, okay, so it's not bad. So not bad. This one is not bad. You see, I'm just going through it, and I can always go back. This is good. I can always go forward, go back. This is good. This is good. This is good. You don't stay as you don't stay there too long. You look at the pictures. What can I do to it? I can crop it. I can make it better. Okay, so it's not bad. Prophet is here. His father. He's not showing his face as much yet. Peter's mouth doesn't look good here, so I'm not going to select this picture. I look at this one. No. Yeah, this is still okay. Right, but I've said if the in the middle are sharp, but we can still select it. So we come here, they're a bit sharp. Two parents, amount is somehow here. She's looking good, but I'm not going to select this picture because this has spoiled the picture. So she's smiling, take it. Everyone, people are praising here. Remember, things you are looking out for us because you also know composition techniques that I already taught you. You can apply it to these pictures. Rule of thoughts. Okay, makes sense. Good. Worship. I can select two pictures. Let the people that are posting decide that their loans are going to remove anyone they want to. So we continue PD here alone. This one, no, I'm not going to add this up. Everything I'll do somehow here. You have to consider every person in the image. Do you get? This is good. This is not that great. I don't really like this lighting on stage because lights are entering so multicolored. The camera light is not even going to do anything. So this is great, right? 1, 2, 3. This person is also here. Good. Now, this is no, this is not good. Mouse doesn't do great. This is not bad, right? Select it. These are pictures outside for 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 let's see another one. Let's just scroll forward. This is one. So you have to look at the picture. Okay, not bad. So now this is the edit selecting process. So if I now want to see all the pictures I already selected, right? What I need to just come is I come here, where the shows filter off, click it, and I select weighted. Now you see all the pictures I already selected, which is all of this. You can see that I've selected about 44 pictures out of 852 pictures, right? Which is good. Then I can go into my develop module, right? Now, if I'm done editing, there's also a color code method, which is this red, yellow, green, blue, purple, white, gray. Now, this is naturally gray, which are all these ones, right? So I'm not going to select it. So let's say I'm done editing some of the pictures. So let's say from here to here, I just edited all these pictures. So I shift click everything. I can right click. I can come to select color, make it red. You will see what happens. The borders around it are red. If I select this picture now, say I'm done editing it. If I want to use a color code on the laptop, I can press 6. So 6 will be red, 7 is yellow, 8 is green, 9 is blue. I've never tried purple before, so I don't know what purple is. So if you don't like a picture, you can always unselect it by clicking 0. It has unrated the picture, right? So the picture is no more there. So these are quick, very fast ways you can use in selecting your pictures and you can use in editing. Now I'm going to control A everything. I'm going to show you the second method, which is the reason why I said that it's very good. I'm going to select search written, press none. The people that so I'm going to go to filter off again, right? The people that they do flagging, right? They flag the picture. So they flag the picture if they like it. So come here. I've never really tried flagging before because I've used to this method. You flag the picture by clicking this. I think it's F or V. I can't remember. I'm just going to show you the one. So those are the two methods: the EMs, number rating method, and then the color code method. Now the other method is you use AI to do your selection. like I said, what makes it interesting in this age and time is AI has been incorporated into every editing software we have, or into every our daily life. So I will come here. I always like putting this enough because it allows me to have more space trying to edit all my screen. I have more real screen real estate, basically. So we have assisted calling, right? And we have assisted calling, I have assisted calling info. Now, what makes it interesting is we have 852 photos. I'm just going to allow the AI do my selection. So I want it to select pictures that are in focus. My subject is in focus at 50%, right? That's one. Two, I want the eyes to also to be in focus. So it's going to select pictures of people that the eyes in focus, and I'm going to tell it to select only photos with people's eyes detected. And I can decide how sharp I want it to be. I can decide I can make it 100% sharp. I can make it 50% sharp. Now, do I want the eyes open? Maybe, maybe not, because people are worshiping. So we can leave this unchecked. Now, the pictures I want rejected, if there are exposure issues, meaning that it's probably overexposed or underexposed, I want it rejected. If there are misfires are probably when you're probably working on the road and then you mistakenly press the shutter button, I want it rejected. Now, documents, I don't want this rejected because depending on whatever you're trying to on the moment, probably somebody's reading from something or somebody's owning that something to read it, I'm not going to reject it. So based on that, you will see what is happening here, right? It has selected 124 pictures, 131. It has rejected 267. Now it is going through 852 pictures and it is selecting it for you. You don't have to stress. Like, just sit down, relax, and allow Lightroom do the selecting for you, which is an amazing thing, right? So I'm having 140 pictures. I'm just allowing it to go through everything, right? You can see where it's putting X and when it's putting corrected, which is right. So now, one other thing is for each picture, you will see this is the assisted calling info. For this photo, you will see that the subject focus is 23%, 23 over 100, which is not great. The eye focus is 53. Now, remember I said I wanted my subject focus to be 50. So it's already showing here that the subject focus is 23, it's rejecting the image already. The eye focus is 53, which is not bad, right? Eyes open, likely open. So it's saying it's likely open. So that's gone through all the pictures. Look at this. So this person is eye sharpness is 53%. Okay, sorry. This one, eye sharpness 53%, 58%. Now this person is saying eye sharpness is 49. It is not sharp, but eyes are likely open. Exposure is overexposed. It has told you already it's overexposed. Why? You can look at the exposure triangle here. No, not exposure triangle, histogram. We'll get to that in a bit. So it will tell me these pictures that are sharp and not sharp. This picture is sharp, this picture is sharp, this picture is not sharp. The faces. This is one of the reasons why I said the paid version is really good. So now looking in here, it has gone through. It has not finished, right? But it is showing you the amount of pictures that are rejected and a lot of pictures that are not rejected. Now, for me to see the pictures that have been selected, we have the select, reject, and we have all. This is all, just showing you everything. All. Now I can just click selected, right? And look at it. It has 168 pictures out of 852 that are selected that are good based on what it says, right? Eye sharpness 60%. If I zoom in, yeah, it's sharp. It's not the best, but it's sharp. Now this one too is not bad, right? But then this is where you will still now go through all the pictures and edit and select. Now, depending on whichever one you want, like I said, you can go through the traditional method of selecting yourself, or you allow AI to do it. Now, the other thing is there is the auto stacking. Auto stacking does this, it allows you to capture by time or by visual similarity. So if you have, like, see all these pictures here, we have like a lot of these pictures are here. So I want to say, okay, based on the time, right? I want to reduce it, right? Based on the time. So this is 3 seconds. So every 3 seconds. Based on that, it's going to stack the pictures. So pictures are shot in 3 seconds interval. You have it. If I want 80 minutes interval, you see the number of pictures reduced to 9, right? If I want 2 second interval, it is 104 pictures selected. Now, if I uncheck this, I can always do the visual similarity. So the more similar the pictures, the more it stacks it. The less similar the pictures, No, the more similar the pictures I have it, the less similar the pictures, right? It stacks it. So I can always see more of it here. So it has selected 123 pictures. It has selected all of these pictures because they're not that similar. But because I want more similar pictures, right? I can determine how many how based on how I want it. I hope it's making sense. So let's say we have that showed us 36 stacked, 72 unstacked. So we have 108 pictures. Now let's just stack it like this. So and I'm going to go through it. Okay, this picture is nice. I'm going to rate it. Oh, one thing you can also do, you can apply batch actions, right? So based on the pictures you selected, instead of you doing it manually, you can tell it to rate it 3 and give it a color label of red, right? So no, so the pictures that are rejected, you color to apply color label, or you can apply you can apply rating to it, but you don't want to be doing rating for both of them. You have to differentiate them, or you don't necessarily need to apply color label. Just select the ones you want, rate it 3, or you can decide to do a color code for everything yellow. So it will apply a 3-star rating on the picture and yellow on also the pictures. You can add it to a collection, or you can apply flag. But these are two simple ways. So I just click confirm. You see what happened there. All the pictures have rated 3, and all the pictures have been color coded yellow. Now I can now go to the pictures. Okay, these pictures are good. Which one do I like? You guys can decide whichever one you prefer. If I say I like this one, right? I don't like this one. I can just press 0. I've set it to 0, and I'm probably going to click. So yellow is 7. Just going to click 7. So it's going to remove the color label yellow, right? It is no more selected here, but it's still showing. So what thing I can now do is I can now come in and just say, okay, just show me only pictures that are rated 3 stars and above, right? And the ones that are color coded yellow. It will do that, right? So you can see what's happening here. These pictures have been selected for you. Now, the only issue with it is AI is not human, right? It doesn't read true emotions. You are the one that reads true emotion. You are the one that understands the picture is going to see. So now you will now go through the pictures and be like, okay, picture is not bad, not bad. I ain't going to add these pictures to the ones that are selected. I'm just going to press 0, move it. I don't want this one to 0. Now, you will now see some of the best pictures have been selected for you, right? All you need to do is just go through them and then this is this one is sharp. This person that is saying sharp for 60%, but the picture does not make sense because she's addressing her ear. Her face is covered. It's not telling the story. Press 0. This one is not bad, it's still good. This one is still just this person. So I'm just going to remove it. Press 0. So this one now, remember I selected this one that time, but this one is not bad, but its tongue is out. Um her face is covered here. It's not bad. So I'm just going to press 0 because I don't want it. This one is still there. This one is still there. Good. But it's just that it's going to select some, like I said, visual similarity. I wanted more visual similar pictures. Why is it selecting this one? Remove it. So it's not bad. But the issue with this is this picture is not sharp. Based on standard view, this is 60% sharp, but it's not good. The background is what is sharp. 0. Um, so that way, we've gone through a lot of the pictures as quick and as fast as possible. Now, if I now want to see the pictures that have been rejected, even this picture of Prophet jumping was selected. Amazing. Like you will not have to stress. If they say they need pictures as fast as possible, you already have 100 pictures you can quickly edit and send as quick as possible. Now, if I want to go through the pictures that have been rejected, I can now click rejected, right? Because I don't want, I'm going to put filter off so that I can see everything. I feel like I've spent a lot of time during selecting processes. So I'm just going to come here. Oh, I think I made a mistake. So select here. So there are 0 rejected, but I want to see all of them, right? All the pictures because I did not batch do anything to the rejects. I'm going to go back again. Now I don't have any rejected pictures because I didn't do it. I should have done it that time when I did a batch action. So you note it. You need to do a batch action on everything because you will not have them here. I think there should be a way you can be able to see everything. For me to see everything. Wow, it's not really allowing me to do that. Let me see if I can check. because I didn't do anything to it. So I can go to unrated pictures. Now, if I go to unrated pictures, you will see all the other pictures that are here, right? Nothing has been done to them. No, it's basically because I've already gone through that process already. Already had pictures that have been selected already because I didn't do any batch action. So you need to do that so that you have your unselected pictures in case you want to go back to them and probably see this picture is not bad. Now, why is this like this one? Because it's probably part of the similar images. So if I go back to the rated pictures and I go to that part where General was working in, right? So where is it again? So it is here, right? You will see that it's showing you 4. If I unclick this, you will see that there are 4 images that look similar that are selected. If I click this one at 7, you will see all the pictures that are selected that are 7 that look sharp, that are almost the same thing. So if you decide that you want those extra pictures that have been selected for you, you just click this one. If you want to close it, you click this, right? So this is the AI selecting method. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, do the traditional one. And let's go to the editing. Wow, hope it's making sense. Yeah, your wife. I hope it's making sense. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying the class. I hope it's making sense. Let me quickly plug my laptop. Quick. So how is it so far? I want to get feedback. How is it so far? Ignore my tab. I have a lot of things. How is it so far? Is it making sense? I'm going to assume it's making sense. So now let's go to the editing, right? So this is the, like I said, this is the AI selection process. So now other thing is I'm going to show you the histogram. Histogram is very important because in photography you need histogram. It is also on your camera, but I didn't talk about it before. It's just making sense. So on your Instagram here, you will see the ISO at which the camera was shot in. ISO, the focal length, which meaning that the lens that it was shot on, f-stop, which is f5.6 for this camera, and then the shutter speed it was shot in. If you want to see it on your screen here, just press I. Press I, you will see it here. This is the camera image number, shutter speed, aperture, ISO. This is the what's the name, lens that was shot on. It was shot in 24 to 70 or at the 50 mm focal length, right? And this is f2.8, meaning that this is the lens. Everything about the lens. Then you can also get metadata on the camera or the picture itself. So this is the file name, this is the folder it is in, this is the copyright. So if you're the kind of person, if you're editing a church camera, you can always customize the copyright. You just go and click, sorry, excuse me, what's copyright? Sure, you click it and add it, and then you put the name of the person. Okay, copyrighted by CDM. So that means that it is owned by CDM, the creator, CDM, right? Our Caleb Dada Ministries itself. You show you the capture dates, 20th of December 2025, the file dimension, the camera that it was shot on, Canon USR, and then the lens, every other thing. So you can customize it based on what you want to see. Now, if you want to edit, remember we have to go to the develop mode. Develop mode is where we do all the editing. This is the navigator where you can zoom in, zoom out, right, to your picture, and then when you zoom in, you can move this thing around here, or you can decide to zoom in and then just use the and this thing that is here. Now, I always like to remove this thing because I want more screen real estate. Now, you also have presets. Presets are already how you put it. So if you're the kind of person that, so based on what we do in church, we know that okay, the stage is always has a particular lighting, and we want to have a preset for it. That anytime we import pictures, and we know that they are stage pictures, we just take those presets. Presets are already imputed data in terms of your light, in terms of your exposure and every other thing that are here for your editing. They're already created. So once you have these pictures in Lightroom, you just come to your presets and just say you want to apply this Alice preset, and like this Alice preset. If you want to use this, try Alice preset or this one, this one. Just click it and then you apply it on every other thing. So these are already created presets or created data from here that have been created for particular scenarios that you cannot import. If I want to apply this image preset, does that make sense? You can increase the intensity that from 100 to 0, or you can reduce it. Does that make sense? So I'm just going to preset this image, right? That is preset. So you can create as many presets as you want. You also have your history based on everything you've done. So based on what I've done to this image, I reported it at this particular time, which is 8:25, right? And then you can see the amount of presets I've reported, I've done to it. You can create collections, but like you don't need all this part. It's for deeper editing. Now, going back to the histogram, your histogram has different parts, right? For a particular image, a particular image has data for blacks. For it has data that allows you edit your image, or that shows you the lighting based on blacks, shadows, whites, and highlights of that particular image, or what makes the image itself is your histogram. So here you can see the amount of blacks that are in the image. You can see the shadows. You can see the midtones. I call these midtones. It's not just exposure. It's midtones. It's in between your darks and your whites. Then you have your white highlights here. And you have your whites. So based on the image, you will see that this is a graph, right? You see that the amount of blacks in this image is a lot, right? You can see it actually. You can see it in the image. There are a lot of blacks in the image. That's why there is a spike in the graph part here. In the shadows here, you see that your image, there's no possible way that you will not have shadows. And then your midtones, right? Your midtones are like your shadow, like your midtones are in between, right? And then you have your highlights. Your highlights are like these parts, the things that highlight the image, that just stand out. You see that it's not that much. You see it here. There is some here, right? Can be here. And then your whites. Your whites are your part of the image that are pure whites. So we don't have so many parts of the image that are pure whites. Be the address, even that parts, maybe tiny parts are white. Even the sky is not white in the image. That's why you see the graph here, or the data here is not as high. That is your histogram. So for this image, what you have here will be different from this image, right? You will see that it's tilted more to the left towards the blacks, because there is a lot of blacks in this image, as opposed to the white and the highlights. There's literally not so much highlights and white. We have midtones, shadows, and we have blacks, right? If you look at this image, what happens? You see that there is a little spike in the whites, meaning that there are some parts of the image that are white. There isn't so much black in the image, like there's literally nothing, and there are shadows, meaning that it's not well contrasted. So that is that about histogram. Now to the other things we have, I'm going to explain this part. So we have your editing, which this is your this thing that looks like bars. Hold on. This thing that looks like bars, or like can't remember what it's called. This is where you do your editing. Then you have your crop tool, which is this one. You have your move tool. This is one of the reasons why I also say remove tool is very like doing the paid version is very interesting, because there's generative AI now in Lightroom. Meaning that if I have anything else removed, so let's say I'm seeing this thing, I'm seeing the distraction. I click around it. Though you have credits that are going going when you use it. So I can just click remove. It's going to remove it using AI, because I have clicked generative AI to remove it. I don't have to think about it. It's going to generate something that makes it look it doesn't look good. So you have different variations, and you can always generate again. But that object there is not a distraction, so I'm not going to delete this, right? You can allow it to detect objects. There are other things. You can remove people from your background. I can't remove people here, per se, but it will try and detect people. These are what it's saying as people, but these people are not people, right? So there is dust, there's reflection, but like that's is generative AI. Then you have there are other ones. You can also use this is clone and this is you, right? I can always clone this person, right? So this is I've tried to remove this person by using this I can clone, right? But like, don't necessarily need that. So let's just go back to other things. So this is it's for red eye. So there are sometimes when you take a picture of somebody and when you're pointing the flash to somebody, you see something that looks like red eye. You can always remove it with this red eye tool. And then this is for creating masks. This mask part, I will create a YouTube video on it and you guys can watch it because it is way much more in depth than um the amount of time we have for this class. So that's that. And then based on everything you do on your image, you will see everything here for so you notice that I did the remove tool. So it's showing me that the following AI tools have been used on this photo, right? But I think yeah, which is see this one is still there. Let me just remove it. I just come to this one, comes to this one, I just delete it. Sorry, delete it so that this person is back. So it has seen that it has it is not highlighted anymore. So showing that there's nothing that's been applied on this image. So this is this part. So I'm going to import other pictures and I'm going to do a quick selection. I'm going to show you a quick edit so that we can make it as fast as possible. So for these pictures, we have 18 pictures. This is really quick. This picture is not bad. I like it and I can always reduce exposure based on how I the only issue is this person. So I have to find a way to crop it in such a way that I don't show this person. This person's face is annoying. You can see these two people. Great. But this ladies and this person, they look like they're tired. But like for now, let's say we select it. So this one, not bad. Right. But we have to find a way to ensure we crop it in such a way that we don't show this person's legs. So click this one too. You go to the next picture. Sorry. This man's lips. It's okay. Let's just see it's okay. Right. I'm not going to select it. So we have this one. It's not bad. I'm going to select it. Great. Good. This one is not telling any story. But there is nothing we are focusing on. Forget it on this side. And it's just the edge we are seeing. So I'm not going to select this picture. This one, so I'm not going to select it, even though prophet is here. It's just a hand that's showing, right? Even though the person being wanted to show the hand, he's not really telling a story, right? Because the person is a pen there. And if I wanted to do this, probably know I needed to use flash. If I wanted to use flash, probably use the brightness. This one is okay, right? So we see 3. This one no, because prophet is being blocked. This one no. This one no. I like it, but no. This one is good, right? This one is not bad. Let's say we select it. One thing we can do, we can always crop. So 3, I don't want this one. I don't want this one. Let me see. Is it sharp? I want to let me leave it sharp. Say focus. Sharp, it's not that sharp. So this one is better than this one sharp. So we have gone through all 18 pictures. That was quick, really quick. Should we have it? I don't really see the storytelling, right? I see people looking at it. So let's say we select it. So we just went through all the pictures right now. I'm going to remove this one. I don't want to use AI to select. So what do we do? Selected everything. I used 3, and you can see based on what I selected 9 out of 18 pictures. So as quick as possible, I'm just going to show you quick editing. Now, looking at this image, right? It is bright. You can see it here. The highlights are a lot. You can see the graph. The white spiked at the end here. So meaning that it is very bright. It is not, you can see that there are no blacks. Still wearing black, but like it is not pure black, right? If I wanted to show you where the parts that are white are, I've clicked this. It showed me these are the parts that are white. These parts that are red. Don't you want to select it so I don't show people states. Those are the places that are pure white. Maybe that part is like shade of white. So I'm going to just have those ones selected. Just show you in a bit. The next thing is I'm going to show you everything in regards to editing. Quick one. Remember we talked about, so there's a profile. So every time you take a picture, right, your camera takes it in camera standard, right? You can always use camera standard. I've not really been a fan of changing profiles because I'm used to the Adobe color, right? So you see what happens when I go through every other thing. If I go through Adobe standard, click here, you see the color start changing, right? it's just going to change the color to that particular profile that you have selected. I'm just going to just stick to Adobe color, but then there are other ones that you can check here. You can set to camera match. You camera match, and let's say on your camera you shot on standard. You can always ensure you just click standard. There are other ones here, right? Film inspired, right? That you can use, but you're not trying to do anything creative. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just going to close it. I'm going to show you the that. Number one, we're going to talk about white balance. White balance is like the particular lighting that was used in the image. Then it will now categorize it based on temperature and tint. Right? The warmer you want to make a picture, you increase the temperature. Right? If you want to make it cooler, you make it cooler. Remember when we talked about lighting and everything? Go to the first class video. It's all there. Now, if I see that the picture is really green, I want to make it purple or reduce the greens, I can always use the tints. Now, if I take this to the left, you see that it's adding more greens to it. For the right, it's adding more purples to it. So that's white balance. Now, the white balance there's a white balance picker here. My white balance is supposed to be that your white has to be pure white. So if I look at this image and I say, okay, look at the image, and I'm like, okay, I want to make this in pure white. So this is part of the image I think is pure white. So I just click this part. You see what happens? Your image is affected in the sense that your the temperature and the tints were affected. Originally, it was 4,750, but it increased it. I usually use my eyes for this part. I don't usually use the color picker. It was back in the day when I started photography. Now that's now. This is exposure. Exposure either makes your picture, your overall picture brighter or darker. So in the sense that if I want to make this picture darker now, what do I do? We see it here, even on the slider. To the left is darker, to the right is brighter, or is a lighter shade of gray. To the left is darker shade of gray. So if I take it back like this, you see what happens. The overall image is made darker. If I increase it to the right, it overexposes, like it increases the brightness of the image. Do you see what I'm saying? Contrast, what contrast does is it makes your darks darker and your whites whiter. So if you look at the histogram here, look at what happens to the blacks, to the graph, right? If I increase it, you see what happens. Your whites are being whiter and your darks are being darker, right? I'm not a fan of adding too much contrast. And if you take dark, it brings your graph to the middle, to the mid-tone part. That's why your picture is whitewashed, right? So depending on how you want to do it. Now, when I said raw is good, this is one of the advantages of raw. You can tweak it as easily as you can. Let me quickly import a JPEG picture and let me show you what happens if I try to import a JPEG picture. Let me see if I have any JPEG picture. Oh, let's use this picture I have since. I'm going to check all. I'm just going to click one. I'm going to import it. So this is the picture I have since 2020. So if I try to, you see what happens when I try to edit a JPEG picture. It is not great, right? You can see the white. You can see this. I don't know what they call it. I forgot what they call it, but it looks like the transition is not that great, as opposed to when I'm just going to Control Z everything because I don't really need to stress myself. And I'm just going to go back to the picture we were editing before. Now, previous import. Okay, I just imported one picture. Let's go back to picture. It was in my downloads laptop CDN. So this is where it is. So I'm just going to press D again. Sorry, if you want to go to develop mode, press D. If you want to go to your library, you can press E. E will bring you here. D will bring you back to your quick shortcut. So back to this picture. Remember what I said about Lightroom, about Raw. Raw allows me to work well on a minute. Now, the other thing is we have highlights. So highlights affects the the bright part of the image, right? Not the white. Affect the bright part of the image. So when I reduce it, you can see what happens to our face here. You can see what happens to our face here. And this side here, the part of the image that are highlighted, right? Even down to this forehead part here, you can see what happens when I reduce it. It tones it down. When I increase it, it adds to it. Now the shadows are parts of your image that are in the shadow. So if I want to add brighten my shadows, I can always increase it and I can always reduce it. Right. You see what happens when I reduced it? The shades, even from this histogram, when I reduce it, some of the parts of the graph made it to blacks. If I increase it, it's going to go into the midtones, right? So depending on we'll do a quick edit real quick. So I'm just trying to show you each slider one by one. So this is white. Remember when I showed you the white part of the image, right? If I reduce it, you see what happens to the red, those red, it's reducing, right? If I increase it, it's going to show you that there are more parts of the image that are now in white, right? So the slider is to make your whites, is to either reduce the amount of white in the image and then you can work on slider. But we'll come back to that in a bit. That's your white. Your blacks affect the black part of the image. So we have the shades. First, I want to make the shade black. What do? I increase the amount of blacks in the image. You can see what happens to the slider here. So I'm going to double tap to reset. I want to reset, double tap, I click it, and I reduce it by increasing it actually, because black, I'm trying to make it black or add blacks to it. You see what happens? Black image, blacks of the image when it's stored. Now you can see if once it becomes too much, you see the spike here. If I click this part, you see that it is too black, right? There is no information in those parts anymore. So you can always adjust it. So that's that. Now the other thing is texture. Texture is like if you look at your image, right, and look at the textured part of it. So texture is like your skin texture, your clothes have texture. Every part of the image that adds texture is going to add texture to it. So if I zoom into this, let's look for a properly exposed picture. Let's look perfect picture. Now, one thing I need to mention, I think I wanted to talk about it a while ago. I mentioned it to Israel, is please and please and please. No, don't add too much texture, don't add too much clarity, don't add too much details into your pictures. There is this grungy effect I've been seeing in CDM pictures. I'm not really a fan of this because if we look at pictures from not from I'm not trying to compare, look at pictures from other churches. You don't see their pictures looking grungy or looking like there's a lot of clarity in the picture. You want it to look as natural as possible because people will screenshot these pictures and share it or save it. So you want their faces to look as clean as possible. You don't want it to have look like there's a lot of effects or it looks like you are looking at the picture and then P's face. You can see a pimple, you can see the pimples, you can see the skin pores, right? This is the problem with texture. So if I increase texture, right, you see, let me increase this to 800. This picture is too noisy. So I don't want to use this picture. Aim for a picture that is properly exposed without so much noise. So if I zoom in and I click texture, you can see what happens. You can see that there's texture that added to the image. You can see more pores in the image. You can see more pimples and stuff. I'm not really a fan of texture. I'll use this if I'm trying to make the picture. No, I'll use this texture. I don't like this texture. So be careful about textures. Looks at image and looks for the parts where there are textures and increases it or reduces it depending on which way I want. Then clarity. Clarity is like sharpness, but it is sharpness that is not friendly. In the sense that if I increase clarity, right, it will it's trying to make the blacks and whites pop out a little bit more, right? It's trying to clarify. Yeah, I'm joking. It's trying to sharpen the image, but like not doing the work of a sharpener, right? If I double tap it, it's almost like texture, right? But the only problem is texture is affecting the textured part of the image, while clarity is affecting the darks, the whites, and the highlights, right? It's affecting the dark, the white highlights of the image. That's why you see that all the parts are being affected, unlike texture. Now, the haze is for, let's say you have a whitewashed image, right? Or let's say you go to where a light entered your picture. The haze is supposed to remove the haze in the picture. So you can either increase the haze to remove the whiteness in it. So this picture looks a little bit white. I can always remove it by clicking the haze. What it does is it moves your graph to the left. You can see it here. It moves your graph to the left by trying to remove those whiteness in your image, right? Like I said, do it with moderation. You don't want it. You don't want this. This is not good. It's not making the image good. You don't want this. I'm not a fan. It makes your picture look like just it's in 1960. So do it with moderation. You don't want this because it's like I said, this one is affecting the texture in the image, which is not good, which is depending on what you are going for. This is affecting everything. It's trying to add clarity to the darks and the white parts, right? And it's affecting the colors. With moderation, this is the S. The S is to remove. This is what a AST picture is like. It looks very whitish. So I can always DS, remove it and add to it. Now the other thing is vibrance. Vibrance is more or less like it's going to take all the colors of your image. It's going to take the colored parts, parts of the image that are not too colored or that they don't have a lot of. So let's say your color graph, you have 0 to 100, 0 to minus 100. So you to take those images that are probably like 40, 30, and probably try to increase vibrance, like just bright, just add a little bit of color to it. Right? So it's not affecting the whole image. Now, saturation is going to affect every color in the image. Like I said, do it with moderation. If I take this and I do this, you can see what happens. It's affected all the colors, every color in the image, which is not that great, right? But vibrance, if I increase it, it's not too much. It's still good, right? But like I said, do it with moderation because you don't want to spend too much time doing your edits, right? So this is your basic exposure things that you need to do. Now, if you want to now do more curves, I'm not going to go into curves today because we don't have enough time. We have like 18 minutes, and I still want to show you a little bit of editing. Curves is more or less like you see the same graph here, have it here. You can affect everything individually or with curves. So I can say I want to affect everything in the white part. So I'm going to do this. It's going to affect everything, right? Because I'm increasing everything. Now, if I don't want it to affect everything, I only want it to affect the white. I can put a dot here, put a dot here, and I can always increase everything in the white. I can always increase everything in this part of the graph. But the only issue with it is you can see what is happening. It's affecting that part, but it's not doing a universal distance. People try to do an S curve, right? So it adds a little bit of contrast to your image, but you don't necessarily have to spend too much time on this if you have over 100 pictures, right? Except you created a preset around it. So this is tone curve. I have a color mixer. The color mixer has it to go through your images. So every image has, not every image, some images don't have it. So it will show you all colors. It's like roy beef, not red beef, but this is red, orange, yellow, green, alpha, blue, purple, magenta. Shows all the colors, right? And then you can either affect the hue, saturation, or the luminance. So hue is more or less like you take a particular color and can take it from. You can have different variations of that color. In the sense that so you have red, so you know there are different kinds of red. There's maroon red, there is a burnt orange red, there is cockroach red. So it will allow you affect your reds and change it based on that. So it can move it to yellow, which is just move it to I don't know what we call this. So look at pages. So pages is red. So we can move it to pink. We can move it to I don't know what we call this orange. Yeah, something like orange. Yeah. So it will affect every part of the image. So you notice that it's not affecting everything. So you can individually affect colors with in your color mixer. So this is this one. You can adjust your orange. Now, most people's skin tone is orange, so most times don't touch the orange because it just make perfect look weird. You do people look weird in your image. So we have the yellow slider. It's affecting everything that's yellow in the picture. So it will change the color based on the hue, right? So you can make it a different shade, not shade, different orientation. If that makes sense. Now, if I go to saturation, saturation affects the overall um, intensity of the color. So if I want to reduce the reds in the image, all the reds, reduce the saturation, I can always reduce it. You see what happens to this picture? Put this is not as red, but it also affected prophet clips in a way because like I said, the human body has a bit of red and orange. I don't say it before I'm saying it now. The human body has a bit of red and orange. If I increase it, you can see what happens here. There were some reds that were hiding here. That's increased the intensity, that increased speed zone, which we don't necessarily want. There is orange. So when you have access to Lightroom, play around with all these things, right? There is no aqua in this image. That's so weird. I'll probably have to this is aqua. There's no aqua in this image, but then you notice that there are blues in this image, right? There is purple, not so much, and there's magenta. Now, if you want to affect how bright the color is, you go to your luminance. So luminance will either make your image brighter or darker. So depending on the color. So let's say we look at PD's red now. If you want to make PD's red darker, you can always reduce it. Or you can brighten it up. Right? That's the point of luminance. You can look at all of them at once, right? And you can do color, but just stick with HSL. Color is more or less like all the things I mentioned before. You have it individually. So this is red. You have the hue saturation luminance. You have the orange hue saturation luminance. And you can also okay. So this is everything. You can also have them individually, right? So I want to work on the orange alone. You do that, but you can always just stick with HSL and do it how you want. One thing I like to do, because I like to work individually with each tab, is when I right click here, when I right click, when I right click the basic, right, I always like to have solo mode on. If I click solo mode, right, if I click this, I can also have another tab open, right? But like I like to work neatly. I don't like too many things open. I don't like to be dragging this my slider up and down so much. So what do? I just come here and I work in solo mode. So it will you work in part time in one tab. I don't want to. So this is color mixer. I talked about color mixer. Color grading is, like I said, you have your highlights, shadows, midtones. You can always color grade your image based on whatever you're trying to go for. So this is your highlights. You can work on your highlights. You need to add colors to highlights. You have your shadows. I'm trying to rush now because I have like 12 minutes. You have your shadows. And you have your midtones, right? It will affect all of them by adding colors to all of them. So depending on your color grade you want to go for, right? You use your color grading tab. Now you can also do it one by one, shadows, midtones, highlights, or you want to do it globally that to affect the whole thing. But you don't just like don't stress. You're not if except you want to go in depth, right? Yes, we want to have a particular color grade for all of our pictures in church. You can do it in color grade, right? Come back here. I did the blue thing by mistake. So how did I know? Because it was highlighted. You can see it here. It means I did something. So I'm going to go to detail. The detail will show you how much of your picture is sharp. No, you can sharpen your image. So you can this image now, right? It's not as sharp. I can increase sharpness, right? And you can see you can mask. Oh god, this is too much. Go to my YouTube channel and watch some of the videos there that I have on editing. I did a whole 1 hour on editing. Then for noise reduction, remember I talked about when you increase your ISO, right? You have noise in your image. You have ISO 800. You can see the noise here. So let's go to that other picture where we have a lot of noise. Now, this is one of the reasons why having a paid version is good. Now, they've introduced AI denoise. So AI will do the denoising for you. So if look at this picture now, you can see that. Let's make it zoom. Let's make it 200. Let's make it 200 instead of. You can see there's a lot of noise in this image. So what do I need to do? You can manually do your denoise, right? Which is manual noise reduction. With your luminance, ensure sometimes there will be colors on your noise. So you can see that there were colors on this one. Red, green, this dots that are red, green. But I'm going to undo it, undo by Ctrl Z, and you will see that it's no more there. You can always increase it and you can do this. But one thing that is good that, like I said, there's AI denoising is you can just click this denoise, right? AI processing is in progress for this photo. Editing is temporary and available. Why this is going on? you can select another picture and start editing. Does that make sense? So let me just go to only the related picture that I selected. I've come back to it. It is done with the denoising. You can see that it has removed all the noise. This is at 50%. This is at 19%. This is at 19%. This is at 100%. Right. But 50% is fine. So just leave it at 50% and increase sharpness a bit, which is good. So this is like one of the few things that AI has done. Right. So click the noise. AI will do the work for you while you're doing other things. So this is, I'm trying to be as fast as possible. You have transform, you have lens correction. Watch my video. I think I did a deep dive into these parts. So let me just do a quick edit on the picture. So let's say I look at this picture now. Let's say we go back to the first picture. So we look at this picture, be like, okay, what's wrong with this picture? This picture is over exposed. I want to ensure that it's exposed properly. So what thing do I first do? I don't think I usually jump to exposure first, because exposure will probably be like, well, let me first really jump to exposure because picture overall picture is bright. But then what can I do first? I can see I use my highlights, I can use my whites, right? You can see what's happening. Like you're trying to cook now, you're trying to cook yourself, trying to make your steak from the first class. Right? I'm going to, because I want my pictures also look like there are blacks in it. I'm going to increase my blacks by reducing the slider and see what's happening. Then I want to add a little bit of contrast to it. Just a little bit of contrast to it, right? Don't want to, I don't want to add shadows to it. I don't want to create shadows. I just want it to read it. And I can now also reduce my exposure. You see what I did last? I reduced my exposure. And because what we wanted to do, what's based on the picture, the main focus of this picture is this person, right? I've reduced my exposure. What did I first do? I didn't do my exposure first. I did every other thing, which is the highlights and then white. Then I can also say, okay, this picture looks like I need information in my midtone. So I can say, okay, let me just increase my midtone a bit. This is my blacks a bit. So the picture looks better. If I want to show you the before and after, I click Y. This is the before. This is the after. Quick stuff, fast as possible. If I don't want to stress, I can just say add into the vibrance. I don't want to add too much saturation because this clothes is shouting at me already. So if I do this, it's too much, and our face doesn't look that good anymore, right? Let's say I want to make the picture a little bit warmer. I want to make sure that it is looks as bright as possible. This picture is fine. I don't need to stress. Maybe I might just add a little bit of purple tints, right? Now the my issue with this picture is this purple, this clothes is shouting in my face, right? So that I come to my color mixer. You can always click the color you want by clicking this particular thing here, right? You see this thing that looks like dot sign, and then this up and down this thing. So up and down means if you go up, you're increasing the intensity of the color. If you take it down, you're reducing the intensity of the color. So when I did that, what affected it? It affected the reds and the purple, right? So I don't want too much of it. So what do I do? After I unclick this, unclick it, and I can take my purple, and let me just do my reds. I can say I want my purple, right? Come to the picture, reduce this, but you don't have to stress, right? The picture still looks good the way it is. Does that make sense? So let's say I've read this picture. Okay, I'm done. One thing we now also want to do is, let's say you want to be posting on Instagram, so you want to have a particular aspect ratio we want to be working for all our pictures. We come to crop tool here. You click it and do 4:5 or 8:10. That way we can crop. Let's say you want to make it, you want to really remove this lady, right? We can do a vertical crop, right? This is a vertical crop of that image, right? It's not bad, but this picture is nice. But this lady has spoiled the picture, so I am not going to add this picture. So I'm just going to take the picture and I'm going to remove it. I've removed it, right? See, you want to work with it. So let's say we have a template. So let's say all our pictures were overexposed. Now, one thing you need to notice. So sometimes pictures have the same lightning, lightning in the image. So remember this picture. This is the before. It looks like this particular one, right? So what can I now do? I can go to this particular picture and I can select the other one and apply the edits I did it on this one, also the next one. So what do I do? I click it and I click sync. Right? You see the basic curve, color mixer, color grade, detail, transcorrection, all these other ones. I didn't mention it as much. So the basics, I'll have everything selected because I only worked in the basics. And I just click synchronize. What will happen to this picture? Down. Good. Right. I see that the picture looks a little bit more because this is high. I can always just reduce it a bit and reduce my exposure. What else can I do? Come here, click crop. Crop it to just the two of them. Right. Good stuff. You are good to go. This purple is annoying me. You can see purple in my image. Right. Imagine I increase saturation. You see what happens to her face. It becomes oranger and explodes. It's shouting. Her face becomes oranger and Chris is now shouting. I don't necessarily need to increase saturation because Canon already has this thing where it adds colors to your image already. So you don't want to have too much, you don't want to do too much editing. So I come here to preface picture. Okay, I like this picture. My issue with it is too angled to the left, right? So I come here, come to crop, click this one, click the aspect ratio that we have decided that we want to be working with, and I come down, zoom it in. I want to put prophets in the middle. Remember the rule of thoughts. I can set the rule of thoughts, but it's not going to work because I want for prophet to be the center of the image, right? See what has happened. I just did this. Now, if you are a lazy person and you don't want to be stressing about all these highlights, there is something called auto. Just click it, right? It has done basic edits for you. Now you cannot look at the picture and be like, okay, it has done some auto stuff for me. What can I do? I can say I don't want this highlights, this white. I can use, I think I want the white. So I leave the white like this. I want more information in the shadows. I do this, increase my contrast a bit, reduce this, say probably add a little bit of highlights to the picture, and it has added the plus 15 for vibrance. You can also say, okay, let me just increase this a bit to like +5 to add a little bit of color on perfect face. Right. This is before. This is after. Why? First why? Before, after. Right. It is way better. Let's say I wanted to add more contrast to it. I can now go to my tone curve, do this. Yeah. But like the picture looks good. Let's say I feel like there's a little bit of purple on perfect face. I can reduce my tints, so add a little bit of green. I come here. I look at the picture. The picture is good, right? One other thing I probably did not do, it does not look straight, right? You can auto straightening it, auto straightening it, right? By doing this, click auto. This is what it did. Added a 0.86 angle to it, but you can manually do it yourself. But just click auto, so not stress yourself. Not overthink it. Tap and picture this. Now the only other thing now is this image is noise. So what do I do? Once my detail and I click this, right? When I click the noise, the image is going to be denoised by Lightroom's AI, and I don't have to stress. You can see the progress by right applying the noise. There's a noise that's don't stress. Picture is good. Move on to the next picture. Now because the other pictures are perfect, I can always click it and I can just click sync. And when I click sync, it will apply the same thing. And it's going to apply all the settings and the denoising and everything. And I have people here now because I was doing here before. So we're going to end this part. Right. Now that it is applying it, I'll apply the color this. So I'll apply the sync on the pictures. Now what do I do? Look at this picture. The picture is really bright. So I can always use the whites and then reduce my exposure. Right. Yeah. And it looks good. And I go to the crop, go to my crop it down, and then I'm good to go. Does that make sense? So I just quickly did look at the picture. Okay, this picture is looks good. Reduce my whites a bit. Right, come to my crop, go to my crop. Let's say I want to show just these two people, right? Just do this. I've cropped it to just two people. This tells the story. This is also good. Come to this picture. auto straighten it, and I just say crop it a bit. Right, we can do rule of thirds here. Right now, what is wrong with the picture? The whites are too much. I reduce my whites a bit, reduce my highlights a bit, reduce my exposure, my tints. Right. So basically, I've done 4 pictures in 2-3 minutes. Does that make sense? Hope you guys are able to learn 1 or 2 things, and I'm going to stop now. Sharing screen. Hope you guys are able to learn 1 or 2 things. I hope you able to enjoy it and it's making sense because it's about to get to this midnight here, and it is 9:30, and I've been told I should end when it does at 9:30. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity. We're going to do 2 things. If you have any questions, if you have anything that I need help with, reach out to me. So the next thing you can do is I show you download Adobe Lightroom and try all these things. Get pictures from church, um, get pictures from church, get pictures from uh, your leader, team, pastor, team, sorry, get pictures from a team and practice it at home. If you have a laptop, if you have the option for it, this is between me and you. If you have the option for the pirated one, get the pirated one. And try as much as possible to try editing. If you're in church, try editing. And yeah, I feel like there's so much more we can do, but I just feel like I just rushed it. So go back to your Lightroom, try everything. I just did, like I said, it's very easy to work with Lightroom. I just like 5-6 pictures, how many minutes? And they add the same lightning. Remember I said talking about lightning. So once they add the same lightning, put those pictures together and just sync it. Just go to it, reduce 1 or 2 things, move on with your life. Does that make sense? And in a matter of 1 hour, you are done with all the pictures that you have in church. So watch the video again and let me know. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, in case you decide to do.
Thank you so much, Ali. You've done so well. Thank you so much for taking this training all through the days. Thank you so much. God bless you. I trust everyone learned a lot from what Mr. Ali was able to teach us. So let's go over the recordings over and over again. Go over the recording, go over the instruction, go over the training over and over again, and then learn from what he has taught us so far. Thank you, everyone. All right, enjoy yourself. Good night, everyone. God has blessed you.